Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today, we're not drinking bourbon. This here is what we call a whiskey.
Whiskey.
Whiskey. All right, Ben, what's on the bar?
Well, as you remember, not too long ago, we did the Blackened American whiskey.
And this is by Debbie Gibson?
No, Metallica.
Oh, so close.
Close. I mean, 80s.
Yeah.
Metallica's still going. Debbie Gibson, I don't know if she's really up to or not.
I'm not sure what she's up to.
So, blend of straight whiskeys finished in black brandy casks. So, if you watched our recent review, and I'm not sure when this one's going to come out, but probably pretty soon.
Yeah, it was not too long ago.
Yeah. So we did a review of this one, and then we had been talking about the fact that one of our local places...
You had seen this in a store.
Yeah, had the cask strength one. And so I just put it off until Greg finally bought it.
That's good thinking.
Solid strategy.
That's right.
So we have the Blackened cask strength, and this is actually exclusively curated Land of 10,000 Lakes.
So that's a store pick, I would guess, for Cashwise.
And so, yeah, it's a...
Coburn's, Cashwise,
Yep.
whatever they're...
So this is batch 120. Do you have a playlist handy?
You want to talk about this now. So phone is for looking up well, you can explain.
As we mentioned before, if you're just watching this one, you haven't watched the original one. This is a collaboration with the band Metallica, and originally Dave Pickerell, who has since passed. But what they do to agitate the barrels, they call it black noise, and they blast Metallica music at the barrels to jiggle them a little bit, I guess.
Vibrate.
Yeah. And
sonic magnification.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
The idea being to make the whiskey move in the cask and whatever. So, I wonder is if you pour this into your glass, you know how you like to swirl it around and expose it to air? Just set the glass in front of an amp, jam out some Metallica.
Well, I think it needs the barrel and the bite,
But you want to expose the whiskey to the air too.
Yeah.
I might drop that in.
That's a good idea.
So, here is the playlist that was blasted at this cask strength one. 2x4, Slither, Shoot Me Again, Sad But True, Metal Militia, Short as Straw, Battery, Broken, Beaten, and Scarred. So there you go. All right, so let's pour the original, because we got to start with that. We want to go
we should.
Ascending proof to make it fair.
I forget, this is like 90 something proof.
This is 90 proof, exactly. Oops, I probably didn't need that much. Ooh,
That's a nice one. There should
let's
be
not mix the corks up.
Yeah, that would be inconvenient.
Well, it's like crossing the streams in Ghostbusters. I think we've talked about this.
Ghostbusters.
Who knows what'll happen? Or if nothing else, let's just not tempt the whiskey fates by putting the wrong cork in the wrong bottle.
Can I have some?
Oh yeah, I suppose you probably need some of that. This is an interesting whiskey. So this is a blend, as we said, of straight whiskeys. And so from what I understand, it's a blend of ryes and bourbons. And then they take those, finish them in, I imagine they blend it and then finish the blend in black brandy casks.
Yes. Don't have an age statement. We think it's younger-ish.
Could be.
That's the theory is that one of the reasons why they're able to get a decent whiskey at a young age is because they're blasting it with sound.
Do you think that's it, or do you think it's just like, it's still a normal age whiskey, part gimmick, part, hey, let's see what happens.
So
I'd like to hear, say if they took this exact same whiskey and blasted it with Whitesnake or something. If it would
Debbie Gibson.
Or Debbie Gibson, if it would be a different situation.
Here I go again.
Yeah. A great song. Very rye forward.
There is another brand. Well, we can talk about Jefferson. They stick their casks on
a boat
ship,
and
send it around the world to kind of do the same thing, to agitate the barrels. And maybe it makes sense.
I imagine the rocking of a boat is nothing compared to the rocking of Metallica.
Have you heard Slash just
What?
I'm just messing with you. I was wondering if you'd catch on. You're like,
yeah, I catch it. All right, let's get to the whiskey.
All right.
Rye forward,
You're on this one.
I'm on just the original one here.
I would struggle to name the band members, I think. I know James.
Of Metallica?
Is it Kurt or Kirk? And was he the guy that left?
Well, there's been a couple. So
Okay.
Dave Mustaine was the original.
Oh, okay, Dave was the original
guitar player.
And then Kirk.
He got kicked out, then Kurt came in.
And Lars
and
is
then
the
Lars,
drummer.
then Cliff Burton. Cliff Burton died on the Master of Puppets tour. Then Jason Newsted came in.
Okay.
And Jason Newsted quit. Now Rob Trujillo's the bass player.
That's right.
I'm sure this is exactly why people tuned into this episode.
It's obviously a celebrity endorsed whiskey. You got to talk a tad
Maybe
about
if you're looking this up on YouTube, you probably like Metallica. So.
You would think so.
Anyway,
Okay,
rye
back to-
forward. It definitely has that, and
Grainy, grassy note.
it's got a little bit of that, yeah, and I think that comes from the rye. But sometimes you get that a little bit of mustiness with the cask finish. Now we did a whole review of this not that long ago, so we probably don't have to spend too much time on this one.
Sure, totally agree.
We just wanted to try this one first and see how the extra proof
Helps.
takes the same.
Oh, we're
whiskey.
presuming helps.
Ooh,
I feel like there's a pop. Like it's got a
have you smelled the cask strength yet?
No.
Cask strength is coming in at
14.85.
14.85, yeah.
Yeah, there's a interesting
Get into this one.
All right.
That's a completely different smell.
Wow. Like this one, you could convince me at this point is a bourbon. This one really comes across as something different.
Yeah, this one definitely has a little bit more of that bourbony sweetness, but it smells like a young bourbon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I'm getting a lot more caramel on this one. All right, I'm going to try the old 90 proofer.
Yep, let's do that.
Yeah, there's a very fragrant floral kind of note, and it's not a
Yeah,
bad thing
for sure. Definitely carries through on the palate too. I kind of feel like what you smell is what you get off of this.
Yeah, this is really. I like this a ton. It is not a bourbon. It's almost like a bourbon that's been flavored, or said another way, it's just
Or blended with rye and then aged in a black brandy cask.
or do that. But it's really good. But it's definitely a bit of a departure from regular bourbon.
If you're a just ride or die bourbon, this is,
Yeah, it's probably going
This
to be
isn't
a
that.
tad frilly and.
So on the cask strength one, I'm getting a ton of vanilla jumping out of the glass. Are you getting that? Like vanilla and birthday cake a little bit?
Oh, why did you have to say that?
It's there, isn't it?
You can smell the candles, man.
God, now that you said that, it almost smells like candles that have been blown out. It's power of suggestion.
The power suggestion is incredible.
Yeah, I'm getting a little birthday cake and vanilla on this.
Yeah, very sweet frosting notes.
Yeah. All right, let's go in for the taste here. Cheers.
Oh wow.
Please hold.
Yeah.
I would not guess that that's a cask strength version of that.
I would say these are two different products by two different distilleries.
Yeah, they don't taste the same at all. Do you know what it is? It's the playlist.
It's the playlist.
That's the only thing that's different besides the proof.
You know, that's sad but true.
See what you did there? Wow, that's amazing how different those are. If you just set me up with a blind flight, or a blind tasting of these two, I would not guess these are this is
bourbony.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of something says, you know what, that seems maybe flavored, finished or something. This one, and I really like it, but it's a departure.
Interestingly enough, at 114.85 versus 90, when you go from the cask strength back to the regular one, it stands up. Like it's, sometimes you get a cask strength and you drink a normal proof bourbon or whiskey in this case, and it just falls completely flat.
Yeah.
This one doesn't.
Because they're two different whiskeys.
Yeah, I mean, it really just kind of holds its own. But I mean, just proof-wise in general, sometimes,
And they kind of say, we're guessing this may be sourced, it may be, who knows. They're bottled by the same
Yeah, I think it's sourced.
Sweet Amber Distillery Co. Shoreham, Vermont. Oh, this one's different. That one's in New York.
Yeah, it's sourced. The Sweet Amber Distillery, I imagine, is just their own thing they came up with because Sweet Amber is a track reference from St. Anger.
Oh, is it?
The album that shall not be named.
Oh. So it doesn't actually say where it's from, which I think is actually a violation of several laws, but it seems to be.
It's probably on there somewhere in the bottom. So you know what's interesting? Is on one hand, the nose and the cask strength, I'm getting that, like I said, vanilla and birthday cake. On the other hand, there's part of it too that comes across as a youthful bourbon. Like I might guess that this is a young bourbon.
I can see that. Excuse me. I'm not convinced these are the same mash bill. To be honest, I mean they're bottled in two different locations. One's Vermont, one's New York.
It says the same thing. Yeah. It's interesting. And you know, this is Land of 10,000 Lakes. I don't know if it's a store pick or just, maybe you can just choose a batch.
Yeah.
So if nobody had chosen this batch, it might have just become batch 120 to the masses.
Sure. But these taste like there's some difference between them. Mm-hmm. Not just this watered down doesn't taste like this, I don't think.
I definitely like the cask strength better.
I like them both. But
I like them both.
I like them both for different reasons.
I really like the sweetness on the cask strength. This surprise to me.
As a bourbon fan, this one is very similar to bourbon, with maybe a slight, deviation. This is just a totally interesting whiskey, and a good, complete departure from traditional bourbon.
Yeah,
and I like them both.
Yeah, pleasantly surprised. Let's see where we're at here.
The old. Let's see what we can get here. But
you got to do it at the end. I mean, if you're comparing two side by side and you get to the very bottom, you have the same amount left, equal parts, and blend them.
Not exactly equal. I have more of the cask strength, but now we got 106.5 proof.
Yeah, interesting.
Eventually, we're going to find a time when that doesn't work. But not today, because that works.
Yeah, that tastes pretty good, doesn't it?
It does.
I'm finding that more and more every time I'm comparing two whiskeys side by side. I get to the last couple sips, like dump them in together, see what happens. Yeah, I'm really impressed with this. I will say this though, the cask strength one, I'm impressed with it in the sense that it's so different than this, which is cool because as much as I like this one, it's cool to see like how different what I'm assuming is supposed to be basically the same general whiskey can be at a different proof point.
Sure.
That's maybe the biggest jump in flavor I've seen
for
just a higher proof point.
Yeah.
In the sense that it kind of went off on its own thing. I really like it. On the palate, it's good, but it's maybe not quite as lingering. That's the one thing maybe I took away from it.
Oh, wow.
I mean, maybe that's the wrong. It's not that it's not lingering, but
he doesn't mean lingering the flavor. He's making another song reference, but that's the band, the Cranberries. That's not James Hetfield.
Totally different. Yeah.
He sounds slightly different.
Right. I guess
Dolores.
What I'm getting at.
Warden.
Yes. I'm gonna drop in your faux pas from our one video of. Yeah. Please hold. Here it comes. And there it was. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I'm ashamed of myself. Too soon.
Yeah. So I guess what I was getting at is like the proof punch on this doesn't last very long. The flavor lasts, and it's got kind of a nice finish.
Did we just like fall into a bourbon commercial?
I don't know, did we?
It sure sounded like all of a sudden we're in the middle of a...
Isn't that what this entire channel is? Is just a bourbon commercial?
No, we're trying to get sponsors and people to buy bourbon for us.
Oh, sure. Is that why we're doing it, Greg? I thought it was about the passion.
Oh, the passion.
For the bourbon. We have just completely gone off the rails here. Anyway, point is, yeah, the cask strength punch that you get doesn't last long. The flavor lasts long. It's got a nice finish, but it doesn't have that kind of sharpness that follows through, But it's really good. I like it.
I like it a lot.
So I would definitely recommend trying that. I feel like this is a little kind of a step in between how we were saying this one's a little more bourbon-y. This is a step between bourbon and the original.
I totally agree.
At a higher proof with some great flavors too.
Yes.
And then blend the two if you've got both bottles. So, all right, before we just...
Say, insult anyone else?
Yeah, you think we should just shut her down here?
Well, okay, so just a quick inventory. We had a Debbie Gibbet. Cut.
That's the cask strength right there.
It's not, I promise. We had a Debbie Gibson reference. We had a Cranberries reference. Any other bands that we can't use their music of because we somehow get kicked off of YouTube?
No, we just get demonetized. We don't make money off these videos anyway. So.
That's right.
I'm just gonna throw, we can make like a Megadeth reference because Dave Mustaine.
That's a good idea.
Flotsam and Jetsam. Anyway, yeah, let's just
All right.
let's just cut this down. Anyway, so this has been a couple of Blackened products and a whole bunch of jibber jabber from the two of us on
Jibber
Bourbon
jabber.
Note. I'm Ben.
I'm Greg. Cheers.